No gas, no wood, no grid. And yet, this room stayed warm all night. Not from a furnace, not from a space heater, from $5 worth of bricks, and a design that engineers figured out decades ago. Somehow, almost everyone forgot about it. Right now, outside this window, the temperature is below freezing. Inside, it's 68 degrees, and it's been that way since sunset, without touching the thermostat, without burning a single log. This is a rocket stove, and what makes it different from everything else isn't the heat it produces. It's how little fuel it needs to produce it. Most people think heating without electricity means burning a lot of wood, a fireplace, a wood stove, something that requires constant feeding, something that requires a large supply you may not have. But there's a problem with that assumption. Most of the energy in burning wood goes up the chimney. A traditional fireplace wastes up to 90% of the heat it generates. You're essentially heating the sky. The rocket stove solves this problem completely. Not with better materials, not with expensive technology, with geometry. A rocket stove has an L-shaped combustion chamber. Fuel goes in horizontally. The fire burns at the corner of the L, and the heat rises vertically through an insulated chamber before it exits. That vertical chamber is the key. It creates a powerful natural draft. Air rushes in from the bottom, heat rushes out from the top. And because the combustion is so intense and so concentrated, the wood burns almost completely. No smoke, no wasted fuel, just clean, directed heat. A rocket stove uses roughly 80% less fuel than an open fire. That means a small bundle of sticks can heat a room for hours. Not logs, sticks, branches the diameter of your wrist, scrap wood, material most people already have. Now here's the part most people get wrong. They think building a rocket stove requires special materials. It doesn't. The original rocket stove designs use standard bricks, the kind you find at any hardware store, the kind that sometimes appear in construction dumpsters for free. You need 16 bricks. That's it. No mortar, no tools, no permits. Just 16 bricks arranged in a specific pattern. Start with your base. Lay 2 bricks flat, parallel to each other. Leave a gap between them, about 3 inches. This is the air intake channel. On top of those 2 bricks, stand 4 bricks upright to form the horizontal fuel feed. This is where your wood enters. Now build the vertical chamber. Stack bricks on 3 sides, left, right, and back of the corner. You're creating a tall enclosed column. The taller this column, the stronger the draft. Most effective designs go at least 12 inches high. Cap the top of the vertical chamber on 2 sides only. Leave the front open. That's where the heat exits. That's your cooking and heating surface. The entire structure takes about 20 minutes to build, and it can be disassembled and rebuilt anywhere. There's one mistake almost everyone makes the first time. They leave too much space in the fuel feed channel. It feels intuitive to leave room for air, but it ruins the combustion. The L-shaped design already pulls air in from underneath. The fuel channel needs to be tight, just wide enough for your fuel, 3 to 4 inches, no more. When you tighten that channel, the draft increases. The temperature inside the combustion chamber can exceed 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, the wood doesn't just burn, it vaporizes. Complete combustion, maximum heat, minimum fuel. Now, heating a room with a rocket stove requires one more element, thermal mass. The stove produces intense heat very quickly, but that heat needs somewhere to go other than the air, because air doesn't hold heat for long. A simple solution is a large ceramic pot filled with sand or gravel placed near the stove, or a stack of bricks built against the wall behind the stove, or even a dense concrete block. These materials absorb heat while the stove is running, and release it slowly for hours after the fire goes out. That's why the room stays warm all night. Not because the stove burns all night, because the thermal mass releases what it stored during the 2 hours it was running. 2 hours of burning, 8 hours of warmth. Never run a rocket stove indoors without ventilation. The combustion is clean, but it still produces carbon monoxide. A window cracked 1 inch is enough. Keep a carbon monoxide detector in the room, the kind with a battery backup, not one that depends on grid power. Keep the area around the stove clear. The vertical chamber reaches extreme temperatures. Anything within 12 inches can ignite. And never leave it unattended while burning. The rocket stove needs feeding every 20 to 30 minutes. Small pieces, consistent additions. That's the entire routine. What makes this useful isn't just the emergency application, it's the principle. When you understand why the rocket stove works, geometry, draft, thermal mass, you stop depending on systems that can fail. You stop needing gas lines, power grids, delivery schedules. You start seeing fuel everywhere. A fallen branch, a construction scrap pile, a pallet behind a hardware store. Material that other people walk past becomes something that keeps your family warm. That shift in perspective is what preparedness actually is, not stockpiling, seeing. For about $5.20, you can build something that heats a room through a grid failure, a gas outage, or a winter storm. No infrastructure, no electricity, no permissions. Just geometry and physics doing what they have always done. The cold outside doesn't care about your thermostat, but now you have something it can't reach. Prepared isn't safe, present is. And in the next video, I'll show you how to make sure you still have clean water when the pipes freeze. See you there.